Social media has been running wild over the last couple days about a potential trade that would send Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. By all accounts, seems like Aaron Rodgers is on the outs with the Green Bay Packers. They're ready to commit to a Jordan Love era, and Aaron Rodgers still wants to play football. The New York Jets just recently hired Nathaniel Hackett, terrible Denver Bronco head coach, but former Green Bay Packer offensive coordinator, who has a great relationship with Aaron Rodgers. So the rumors start to run wild. Well, the New York Jets want to upgrade their quarterback spot while probably still maybe having someone that can mentor and develop Zach Wilson just a little bit. This trade makes a lot of sense on a bunch of different levels. So I want to do a rebuild with the New York Jets if they traded for Aaron Rodgers. The compensation kind of falling in line with maybe what Seattle got for Russell Wilson. I can only trade 2 first-round picks. That's my max. So that is what I am throwing in. Plus Elijah Moore, wide receiver, a guy that demanded a trade early last year from the New York Jets. He wasn't getting enough targets. So he probably would be pretty upset that he'd be leaving as soon as Aaron Rodgers comes to town. But he is a valuable wide receiver. When you look at the Green Bay Packers roster, they are severely lacking in talent, young talent at that wide receiver spot. Elijah Moore would walk in and instantly be an upgrade and a starter for them. So that is what we are doing. Now let's get into the rebuild. There will be only one little wrench that I'm throwing into this rebuild because, the idea is Aaron Rodgers is probably going to retire before we go 5 years. He usually retires year 3. Maybe you might get 4 years out of him. So the one, bonus, I assume if you're New York and you're bringing in Aaron Rodgers, is that you still have those years to develop Zach Wilson. And the logic in a perfect scenario is that by the time it comes for Aaron Rodgers to hang his cleats up, Zach Wilson will have learned, been able to take a step back, and will be properly ready to be the quarterback of the New York Jets. Very similar to how Aaron Rodgers was with Brett Favre in Green Bay. So with that being the case, I have dev trait regression on for every other player. Zach Wilson will never lose that star dev. Unless, until he becomes a starter, that is. As long as he is a backup behind Aaron Rodgers, we're going to keep that star dev so that he can properly grow and develop. That is the only thing different that we're going to be doing with this rebuild. Just because, I don't want, he's going to lose his depth just because he's not playing. And that's not necessarily in line with what would happen in real life, because we are clearly putting him on the bench so that he can grow and develop. And we need that star dev trait for this maybe to potentially have a happy ending if Aaron Rodgers retires and we need Zach Wilson to step up. So that is what we're doing for the quarterback spot. But we're excited to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do for the New York Jets. Looking at the Jets roster, big picture, you got to give them credit, man. They have, Joe Douglas coming from Philadelphia, learning from Howie Roseman, who is a 2-time GM of the year, just actually won that award just yesterday, I think. Their draft was insane, absolutely insane. I think you can make the argument that maybe they haven't had the best free agency signings, but they have been killing it with the draft. Aaron Rodgers, you have Breece Hall, who was outstanding. You can imagine that if he played a full season as a rookie, he would have been, much like Garrett Wilson, right on that short list for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I do think Garrett Wilson is going to end up winning that award. He was amazing. He was wide receiver 1. You gotta remember, C4's wide receiver 2. Do you remember? George Pickens, but my wide receiver 1 was Garrett Wilson, and he absolutely dominated, had him on fantasy football. And it was frustrating because the down to the Jets offense was like, man, this guy here should be getting 100 yards a game. Easy. If he had, the service. Unfortunately, that wasn't necessarily the case. Wide receiver room does take a little bit of a hit with sending Elijah Moore in that trade because he also had upside. He was a star dev. We have Corey Davis, who's solid but also very expensive. Barrios has a decent contract on him as well. So, at least going for Aaron Rodgers. You have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Beyond that, you got James Robinson, Michael Carter, just a really deep running back room. So he's, it's going to be somewhat similar to what he had in Green Bay. Offensive line, you get the veteran Dwayne Brown and Tomlinson. Really, left-hand side probably needs to get retooled. Right-hand side, in this world, we're going to act like Mekhi Becton's going to come back from an injury and look every bit of a franchise tackle that he did from his rookie season. AVT at right guard is very good as well. Tight end room, we have some solid, serviceable. Conklin, Uzama, they can get the job done for the time being. Might not be here in 5 years. However, defense is where this team really started to step up last year. We have Franklin Myers. You got Huff with the dev trade. Quinnen Williams is a superstar. I don't know how he's still on a star dev. Carl Lawson. You have the rookie Jermaine Johnson. Making up the rest of the front 7, Mosley, Quinnen Williams, and Quan Alexander. So it's solid, but that front defensive line is very good. We have Joyner and Whitehead. Actually, for this, we'll go Ashton Davis just to maximize the dev trait. But Jordan Whitehead coming over from the Tampa Bay Bucks, I thought it was a great sign. He was a guy that I wanted my Philadelphia Eagles to go after. And in the secondary, you got Bryce Hall from Virginia, and you have DJ Reed, who actually I'm surprised he didn't go up dev. I know he had a hell of a year this year. So you have Bryce and Bryce Hall. You got DJ Reed, who's solid. And then you have the best young corner in the NFL. Like, there's a legitimate debate that he was the best corner in the NFL this year. And we're not going to continue to pat myself on the back. You know, I make draft content. I've been making draft content for almost 8 years on YouTube. I'm not a scout. I just, you know, I don't know. I love watching college football, and I love talking about college prospects. Sauce Gardner was my #1 player on my big board. And that's what, you know, he was high on a lot of people's big boards, but he was not really the consensus #1 on too many people's big boards. He was my #1 player overall in the draft last year. And, you know, taking the victory lap here while we're here. Because he absolutely was the best rookie in the NFL last year. And that was easy, man. They don't build him like Sauce Gardner at all. So we are here with the Jets. A lot of talent. A lot of similarities to the team that Aaron Rodgers is leaving, but the big thing for us is, can Aaron Rodgers, you know, I don't think the roster around us here is not ready to go win a Super Bowl. I think it's going to be year 2, maybe year 3. Where's Aaron Rodgers going to be at that time? Are we going to play at a high enough level that he's going to stay an X factor, and his rating's not going to tank too bad? Well, you have Hall, you have Wilson, you have those guys on the defensive side of the ball develop. Only one way to find out. Let's go. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets, Madden 23 rebuild. So we're 8-3 here in year 1, which is, you know, this is the current season that we just played. I'm not playing at season's end. So it makes you kind of think, right? It makes you, like, if, you know, obviously, you know, if you say it out loud, it sounds stupid. It sounds like John Madden analysis. Oh, you know, if the Jets had Aaron Rodgers, they would probably be a lot better this year. I didn't know they'd be this much better. So looking at our free agents, I like James Robinson. I really do wish and hope he can come back from his injury. I actually made a tweet that didn't age particularly well. I was like, oh man, I'd rather James Robinson right now, from what I've seen, over Travis Etienne when the Jags ended up trading him. That did not age particularly well, but I will still say, you take James Robinson's rookie year, you take Etienne's rookie year, even though it was his second year, I might still take J-Rob in that, and that's no discredit to Etienne, who's an absolute monster. But actually, looking at our squad here, we had Bryce Huff playing like as like a hybrid outside linebacker. I think there might be something there potentially. So let's see. We can offer him 3 years, $33 million, get him locked up in his little bit of a hybrid edge rushing role, and we'll let everyone else go into free agency. Somehow at the end of year 1, we are the 1 seed. First place in the AFC East, 14-3. We had the second best offense, a top 10 defense, which featured the #1 rushing defense. And like the Jets, I knew the Jets were like a solid team, a sleeper team. Only thing we did was we put the Hackett playbook on, which oddly enough was still already base what the Jets are rock and roll with. But 14, I mean, the Jets are very talented. This is a very good roster. Let's see. And look, it's not like outrageous. I love seeing George Pickens up there, but it wasn't like Aaron Rodgers, who for 70 touchdowns. He had a good year. 5,000 yards passing, second in the NFL with 39 touchdowns. So hopefully there won't be any regression. And I guess we do need to entertain the possibility that he could retire this year, this offseason. Usually you can get 2 to 3 years out of Aaron Rodgers. I hope that's the case, especially on the long end there. Bryce Hall is a rookie, outstanding, 1,400 yards, 19 touchdowns. I mean, hell, even Aaron Rodgers got active with the rushing yards. I don't know, maybe because there's that Russell Wilson influence to the playbook. But over 40 touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers. On the receiving standpoint, 86 catches, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns for Garrett Wilson, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns for Braxton Berrios. Corey Davis living up to that big contract, 82 catches, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, and hell, even a solid year out of Tyler Conklin as the 4th option there. Defensively, we have Quan Mosley and DJ Reed all going over 100 tackles on the season. From a sack standpoint, Quinnen Williams was dominant, 16 TFLs, 10.5 sacks. You love seeing that. 17 TFLs, 5.5 sacks for Franklin Myers. 13 TFLs, 4 sacks for the rookie Jermaine Johnson. Carl Lawson didn't get after it too much. And Huff might not be worth the contract we just signed him to. And we don't have actually a whole lot of salary cap. Maybe they'll come back to kind of bite us in the ass. 3 picks for Sauce leading the team there. Maybe I'll show you what our defense is looking like. And maybe that makes me more sense why we signed Huff before we saw his production. MVP went to Josh Allen. with Aaron Rodgers coming in top 5. That's respectable. Offensive player goes to Josh Allen. Defensive player goes to Von Miller, right? So the Bills are just annoyingly good. George Pickens is offensive rookie of the year, beating out Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, which sucks for us because that was likely going to be a dev trade increase for one of them. Devin Lloyd is defensive rookie of the year with Sauce Gardner coming in number 4. Jermaine Johnson at number 6. How are we going to be this is just one of those roles where we're the 1 seed and we don't have one guy that, at least at face value, is going up dev trade. But our team, we found a way to mix and match. There's a lot of depth to this defense. Not so much on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I guess we have running back depth and tight end depth. But for the most part, the defense, you kind of had to mix and match here a little bit. So we took Franklin Myers, who's listed as a defensive end. We kicked him inside a defensive tackle. So that freed up Jermaine Johnson and Carl Lawson on the outside. But we had Huff here, who's 24. I think he started as a 77. Good athlete, sideline to sideline speed. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. Some teams, even look at Philadelphia. Philly's a 4-3, but we have Hassan Riddick as a stand-up linebacker. He's probably like 90% of the time a pass rusher. So we kind of have Bryce Huff in that role, even though the playbook didn't really warrant it. I actually might switch to an Eagles playbook to see if we can kind of maximize our roster here a little bit. Also, given the fact that we re-signed him. But yeah, it makes sense. And our defense was very good. No dev traits up or down, though. At least at face value. We have to go through the rest of the season. I think you look at this defense right now. I think Sauce is superstar easy. Borderline an X factor. He should be a superstar. I think Quentin Williams should be a superstar. I think DJ Reed should be a star. I think on the offensive side of the ball, you should have superstar for Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall probably will go up dev trait, I think, after the year that he had almost 20 rushing touchdowns. But it'll be interesting to see, man. We need to get a lot of love there in the dev trait department, I think, for this team. But we get to sit there and ponder if we're going to go up, down, or anything for dev traits because we got the first round bye. Let's wait through the wild card round. Figure who we're taking on in the divisional. And it's going to be George Pickens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, 9-8 against the 14-3 Jets. Kenny Pickett against Aaron Rodgers. And on this day, Kenny Pickett, oh my God, come on, man. We have the best offense. And you tell me we just sputter with 21 points. Both quarterbacks play pretty well. No one really elevated their team, and no one really put their team in harm's way. We just could not stop Najee Harris running the football. Corey Davis, George Pickens had 2 touchdowns, almost 100 yards. Defensively, 2 sacks, Jermaine Johnson. That's good for the young rookie's confidence. But being one and done when we don't know how long we have Aaron Rodgers for after that hell of a regular season that we did just have, not good. That seasons, and as it relates to dev traits on the offensive side of the ball, both Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson go from star up to a superstar dev, and I don't see any regression whatsoever. I guess if I had to be picky, might have been cool to see like Barrios go up to a star dev. Potentially, he went over 1,000 yards on the year, but he's still stuck on a normal dev. On the defensive side of the ball, no one lost a dev trait. We gained a dev trait on DJ Reed, who went from normal to a star. We gained a dev trait on Quentin Williams, who went from star up to a superstar. Only guy that just, and actually I think Quan Alexander became from normal to a star dev. Only one that looks tough right now is Sauce Gardner, still on that star dev. Hopefully, next year goes up dev trait because he should honestly be like an X factor. A bunch of points stockpiled. I don't know if this is going to have any way, shape, or form prevent or assist us in Aaron Rodgers not retiring, but we're going to use Fountain of Youth, which slows regression on one position at the quarterback spot. All right, wave of retirements. We lose 2 offensive linemen. Our starting left tackle, Dwayne Brown, has retired. At least not Aaron Rodgers has. We get another year. First free agent period, we need to kind of balance the future of this team while also understanding we have a win now window with Aaron Rodgers. We don't know how many more years of Aaron Rodgers we're going to get. I needed a guard, a center, really on the offensive side of the ball. Probably even a tackle. You could swing. I don't know. Let's see what we got here for tackle. Is there anyone I could actually try to bid in that won't completely break the bank? Andre Dillard's a little bit of a tough sell. You could argue limited upside. On the other side, Terrence Steele is serviceable. You got Juwan Taylor, Florida Gator bias. He is a year younger. Maybe we could get Juwan Taylor. Let's go up to 5.5, maybe 4.5 over the next 4 years. 4 years, $40 million. If he could come in, just because we don't have a premier draft pick. That's where you also got to try to find the balance. It's like where usually I could be like, well, I'll grab a center in the first round. If there's a good one, we're not going to have that luxury because we don't have that first round pick for the next 2 years. So if we could try to land Moody here at left guard, he'd be plug and play. Juwan Taylor can play right tackle. We'll slide Mekhi back to the left tackle. Jermaine Pratt can take over Quan Alexander's left outside linebacker spot. And then obviously bringing in Harrison Butker. Really, really a reliable kicker. Has been doing it very high level for a long time with the Chiefs. So we got Butker, Taylor, Pratt, and Muti. Everybody wanted to buy in to what we're selling here in New York. We still got a second-round pick and a third-round pick in this draft. Let's go see if we can find another starter there. All right, so going into the second round with no first-round pick, it's kind of at this point, our team really doesn't have any holes. I signed Muti at guard. I kicked him into center, so we have a hit dev center there now. The offensive line is kind of complete. Now it's about like just more so maybe maintaining the salary cap, drafting for existing veterans. And right now my big two worries, one is at wide receiver, because I do think Corey Davis is very expensive. So as soon as we might be able to get out of that contract, we might want to explore that. However, the wide receiver market is not the best, especially for the players that are really a lot of B's, a lot of F's. The only guy that even really looks remotely interesting, we got two. One is Lance Dunn, a slot guy, catching, and the combine, he's 4.3 speed. Or we could look here at Carlos Carmichael. The double S might put you off, but wide receiver is one of the positions you could almost throw the key ratings out the window. It does look good seeing the catching, but he has catching, and he's the best 3-cone, the best 20-yard shuttle, elite, acceleration, agility, change of direction. He's gonna be a very good player, I think. So I feel like we can probably get that in the third round, all things considered, if the things fall the way they want. So the other position would be CJ Mosley at linebacker. He's very expensive. He's starting to regress a little bit, still playing at a high level. And I think the best guy, we did scout linebackers here. Got a value. Carlos Leary looks pretty interesting as well. But the combine on Juan Betts, the B's all across the board. Would love to see a zone coverage, but at 6'3", 242, and he is pulling elite speed, elite agility. I think this is where we're going to pull the trigger right now, hoping for a hidden dev, which is exactly what we get. 91 speed, 91 acceleration. Let's go. We'll come back to the wide receiver. Carmichael and Dunn are still there. We're going to go Carmichael, catching, the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. He's a slot guy. If he wasn't going to be coming in to maybe be a cheaper alternative to existing wide receivers, maybe I would be like, if we wanted an outside guy, I'd probably stay away from 4.58. But the 3 elites, the catching, he's probably a pretty damn good player. Would have loved to see a dev trait there, though. Just recording this in the case this guy is very good. I don't know if we're going to really utilize a fullback, but knowing that we do have the influence of the 49ers, maybe we get a Kyle Juszczyk, a pass block, a run block. I have yet to see that on a fullback player. He also has elite strength. Could be something there. Now, take a look at our draft recap. Didn't get crazy hidden dev players like would have been ideal with no first round picks, but the ratings are pretty damn good. Juan Betts, our lone hidden dev player, pops with a 73 hidden dev, exceptional athlete, very high ceiling, and our successor long-term to CJ Mosley. Carmichael pops no dev, but 76. That catching, first in 3-cone, first in 20-yard shuttle. Look at that agility. 94 acceleration, 96 agility, 86 catching for a rookie, 97 change of direction, 88 spin. That's pretty damn good. That, Braxton Berrios might feel a little bit of warmth on the back of his neck here, because that is going to be a very affordable replacement if we kind of want to go down that route. 65 center, 62 guard. The fullback pops 76. If you would have had a dev trait, might have been like, hey, is this a generational? 89 lead block, 85 strength, 84 trucking. Okay, that'll do. That guy's an absolute monster, honestly. Rest of the draft, anyway, just getting role players at this point, getting fast players. But happy with the 3 guys that are 70 plus. 2 of them above a 75 with no first round pick. Number 2 for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, looking to remain one of the best teams in the AFC yet again. Changes. We now are going to go Carmichael over Braxton Berrios. The fact that, mid-round pick is already 1 overall point higher. Might as well throw him into the slot. On the offense, we have Muti. We signed as a guard, trained him as a center, and he's able to slide in there and will be our starter. Juwan Taylor, our new right tackle, 80 overall. Optimism is high that this offensive line is going to be very good again this season. Defensively, same front 7 for the most part. We bring Jermaine Pratt in free agency. We have Betts, who's more of a long-term play, but I'm going to get him on the field. He's going to be our second sub linebacker so that, he can get some touches, some snaps, some meaningful plays here as a rookie to at least not lose that dev trait. That's kind of the play there a little bit. We have Whitehead, Davis. I mean, everyone else is running back. We're ready to go. This team was great last year. It's going to be even better this year. Really, our first true breakout scenario in this rebuild. Jordan Whitehead, our normal dev strong safety, who got a decent contract coming over from the Bucs in free agency, is now up to a star dev plus 20,000 XP. That's huge for him here in year 2. So we are 5-6, which isn't great, but the AFC East in general hasn't been too strong, and we're only 2 games back from Buffalo. That's not that bad. I just also wish we were a little bit more on the pace that we were in year 1. Taking a look at free agency, we have $48 million, which is not a crazy amount. Luckily, someone like Braxton Berrios, replaceable because we drafted a wide receiver. Don't really want to let Ashton Davis walk, but very little interest in keeping him around. 78 star dev, only 26. Bryce Hall, another guy, really don't want him to walk. High ceiling. Let's see if we can give him 5 years, $42 million. There we go. We got him locked in, which is great. Jordan Whitehead just went up dev trait. If I had to, I guess if it comes down to it, we had to prioritize a safety. Give me Whitehead right now over Davis. We got him locked in, which is good. Carl Lawson is an interesting one. He's not really playing that well. And you know what? We re-signed Huff. Probably could just shift Huff down to defensive end. Save a little bit of money there. Quentin Williams can't leave. Hopefully we can get him on this neutral deal and not to overpay. We're going to have to overpay. He's not leaving the building. But I think that's kind of how we'll play it. We'll let Carl Lawson walk. We'll move Huff back down to defensive end. Corey Davis, he's been playing well. I wouldn't hate to keep him. But on a 3-year deal, he's pretty much at his ceiling. Got to kind of be smart about it. So, I mean, maybe in a perfect world, we can get Quentin Williams and come back for Ashton Davis next week. All right, so we got Quentin Williams locked in on a player-friendly deal. Gives us $5 million of salary cap. Just not ideal. But let's see. If we go Ashton Davis, we round that up just a little bit. 4 years, 22 mil. All right, fuck you, buddy. Get out of here. You look ridiculous, by the way. End of year 2, we actually got very hot down the stretch. Finished 10-7, which is pretty respectable. Second place in the East. We'll get to find out right away here in the wildcard round who is really the best team in the AFC East. And I know that's going to be a big-time matchup. Anytime we get a divisional rivalry, that's really interesting. Look at the big records, the season stats, not one yet, but I think we had a pretty good year. Aaron Rodgers, just outside top 5 in both categories. Again, I'm not really worried about regression from a dev trait standpoint for him, especially with this kind of year. 18 interceptions is really high. That's very uncharacteristic, as Aaron Rodgers is the kind of guy that's like always single-digit picks, low single-digit picks. So 18 interceptions, I don't know, maybe forcing it a little bit at year 18. On the rushing standpoint, another great year out of Breece Hall, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. From a receiving standpoint, huge year from Garrett Wilson, 93 catches, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. We got over 1,000 for Corey Davis, who unfortunately is going to be leaving to free agency. Carlos Carmichael, our rookie, hell of a year, 70 catches, almost 1,000 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Good year out of Tyler Conklin as well. Defensively, both Mosley and DJ Reed went over 100 tackles. Our rookie, Yohan Betts out of Florida, 98 tackles, 9 TFLs, and a pick. We had 15 sacks from John Franklin Myers, 8 from Jermaine Johnson, 8 from Quentin Williams, 8 from Bryce Huff, who is going to take over as our starting right end once we let Carl Lawson walk into free agency. He's been very disappointing, especially for the big money contract he signed coming over from Cincinnati a couple years ago. Interceptions, Jermaine Pratt, 4. We had 3 for Mosley, 3 for Whitehead. From this, you got to see like 6, 7 picks. We need to get Sauce up to superstar. I don't know if that's going to really happen, which sucks. Top 3 offense, yearly awards, MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. Brock Purdy, all these guys up there. Where the fuck is Aaron Rodgers? Too many interceptions. That's why. Answer my own question. For award winners, Carlos Carmichael is Offensive Rookie of the Year, so that should bode well for a star dev trait for our dude there. Rest of the awards, we're not going to see any Jets because we're just constantly slept on. That's fine, because it is time to go on a playoff run on what could potentially be Aaron Rodgers' final year. We start with a divisional rival Buffalo Bill in the wild card round, and we kick the shit out of them. 38-7. Wasn't even close. Classic. Buffalo just choking. 2 picks, Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns. A clean game from Aaron Rodgers. We ran the ball. Carlos Carmichael continues to be a breakout. Garrett Wilson, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. We had some, not really the best pressure. We had 2 picks. Jordan Whitehead, Ashton Davis, the safeties getting it done. We got the Baltimore Ravens in the division round. They're 14-3, very impressive. Lamar Jackson went off. Let's upgrade our players here. Give us the best shot at victory. It's Carlos Carmichael, who we've just been pumping our points here into the slot. Even though it's not a scheme fit, that's what his role is going to be in our offense. And he has that normal dev, and I expect, if we can go to the Super Bowl, he will be a shiny boy. He will have a star dev. But first, we got to see if we can try to upset Baltimore. It's not really being upset. I mean, from a roster standpoint, pretty close. They do have Lamar. It's a very close win at 20-14. Maybe the experience of Aaron Rodgers was the difference there. As the Jets knock off the 1 seed in the AFC. Both, relatively clean games. But almost 300 yards for Aaron Rodgers is the difference maker. Carmichael continues just to make plays. The rookie, outstanding. 2 sacks. Quinnen Williams. It was, that was a very close game. Wasn't like anyone dominated. It sets up a championship matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals, who are very good. Not a lot of weaknesses. Look at all those upgrades. We'll just auto-spend that. Most of these guys are in their archetypes already. So let's see. Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers could be the final hurrah for Aaron Rodgers. An opportunity in year 2 to take this Jets team to a Super Bowl. Oh, wasn't even close. Shit. 42-17. The 6 seed Bengals make the Super Bowl. On the other side, the Commanders, Jesus, a little bit of a weird year. Joe Burrow just threw it all over our defense, which you hate to see it, given how well our defense is built. T. Higgins was unstoppable. 11 tackles, Sauce Gardner. Franklin Myers had a couple sacks. Just, you hate to see that. You hate to see it. Carlos Carmichael, this is his upgrade for winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. We're going to put that right in the slot with the boost. He's up to an 80 overall. And let's see a star dev, which that's exactly what we need. So the Bengals were just a juggernaut this year. No one was stopping them. They win 48-20 in the Super Bowl. Taking a look at our roster. I mean, a lot of things could change if Aaron Rodgers decides to hang it up. But as it looks right now, Corey Davis lost his dev, but he's going to free agency. Carmichael's going to be able to step up there. We probably are going to have to find another wide receiver, be it in the draft or whatever. But no dev traits have gone down on the offensive guys that are going to be here next year. On the defensive side of the ball, Quinnen Williams up to an X factor. That is huge. Betts hidden dev came out as a star. No one else really went up or down in dev. We had Whitehead who hit that in season. So while I would like to see more dev traits gained on our team, I suppose no dev traits lost is not the worst case. Now we got to go to the first stage of the offseason, and hopefully Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire. But I actually, I already said at the top, I would keep Zach Wilson's dev trait on regardless of what. He hasn't even lost it yet, so I haven't even had to cheese that even slightly. And he's developing kind of nicely for the most part. I mean, we are getting hit with just some straight up regression because he's not playing. But, our plan still could work. When Aaron Rodgers retires, we have a decent quarterback prospect that might be able to take over and bring us a Super Bowl. It's unlikely, but maybe. We're getting 3 years, baby. 3 years minimum of Aaron Rodgers. Salary cap purposes, we're going to get rid of CJ Uzomah, free about $6 million of cap there. We're looking to spend a little bit here in free agency. We have a wide receiver spot that freed up because of Corey Davis. That's, someone that can play out on the outside. So we're going to look at Brandon Ayuk. There was no other bids, so I figured, that's not ridiculous for a guy that brings his skill set. And then we need a safety to take over for Ashton Davis. Had plenty of options, but we're going to try and swing for the fences here. Jeremy Chin, superstar. We'd move, one of them have to move to free safety between him or Whitehead. I don't think that'd be an issue. We're able to line both of these targets, a new wide receiver 2 and a starting safety. I'd hate to go linebacker back to back, but yeah, need that guy. Having no first round pick, we're going to try and get into the second round. He is still on the board. I got to move up. Again, we went Betts with one of our top picks last year, no linebacker. Still have CJ Mosley on the roster, but I mean, again, have you seen a linebacker like that before? I play this game for my job, and I haven't seen a linebacker, a first round linebacker, everything. Top 5 true talent. There's still 2 other guys out of them. Maybe we can reap the rewards of fully scouting this guy, but I think we'd be playing with fire if we just keep trying to sim and see how close, how long we could wait. I think we just gotta say fuck it and just go see what the hell this guy looks like And then maybe, I mean, you can cut CJ Mosley and get like $15 million salary cap. Oh my, we got to get this guy. The Eagles actually wanted a linebacker. They didn't want, obviously they wanted Betts. I was like, all right, how about this? We'll give you CJ Mosley, the guy we're trying to replace. Nice veteran linebacker to come in. We'll give you our 2nd round pick and our 5th round pick to move up to the top of the 2nd round. They accepted it, which gives us wiggle room now to go draft. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be generational or anything like that, but for a 2nd, 3rd round grade player to be top 5 in true talent, and not to be top 5 in true talent, but to have A in everything. And his combine is solid. I mean, you would have loved it maybe if that was S tier. That'd be amazing. But Sean Dunbar, top 5 true talent. No 1st round pick for the Jets. No problem. Round, we get a defensive end. Just kind of filling out our depth chart here. He had a tackle, a power move. Sure. Why not? All right, let's go. Right to the end of the draft. I got to see what this linebacker. I'm going to say if he's top 5, he's going to be at least 75 plus. Has the hidden dev. He is 77, 2nd, 3rd round. One of the best picks. We're going to make him a middle linebacker right away. And I think it's going to be time to usher out the Mosley era the right way. You know, CJ Mosley's been a great player for the Jets. He's been there's been times on like when the Jets were still like struggling to find their identity. CJ Mosley coming from the Ravens was very good. But it is now time for the Dunbar. You shave off one of his overall points. Not worried at all. 77 to a 76 with a hidden dev. Spurlock, our hidden dev defensive end, pops 71 in the 3rd round. We get Michael Reese, a corner that I was trying to target earlier. He was actually a guy I thought about in the 2nd round. He comes in, hidden dev, 72 corner. You know, he had a lot of C's. That's something that looks pretty good for corners. If you can just get a guy that's like C-man, C-zone, C-press, decent, not shit athlete, they tend to be pretty good. And I was very lucky there with the dev trade. Overall, very good draft class. Back-to-back years without having our premier picks because of the Rodgers trade. Done a great job, a.k.a. me being Joe Douglas right now. Number 3 for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Could be the last hurrah. Like 3 years, I feel like at 40, we're getting there, right? He's still 83. He can still sling it. He can still do the damn thing. We got Zach Wilson under contract, picked him as 5th-year option, so he's not going anywhere. But as it relates to the offense, O-line back and ready to run it back. Very solid offensive line. Not elite, but probably one of the better offensive lines still overall in the NFC. No one below an 80 outside of the center. Skill position spots, you know, it's still led by Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. Carmichael broke out last year in the slot. I'm excited to see. And then we went out and spent pretty big money to upgrade Corey Davis to Brandon Ayuk. So that's a lot of playmaking ability on the outside for the Jets. Defensively, Huff is going to take over for Carl Lawson at pass rusher. Going to be interested to see that. Quinnen Williams is now an X factor. Let's see if he can absolutely be a game wrecker for us in the secondary. I mean, I don't know. Sauce is still fucking amazing. Just doesn't matter what the dev trade or not. He's 94, absolutely locked down. DJ Reed, we got Hall, we got Reese, we got Whitehead, we got Jeremy Chin now at strong safety. That's going to be a big-time upgrade, and I'm very excited to see just what we have here in Dunbar. I didn't see X Factor. Maybe it's Superstar, but top 5 in true talent. One of the best straight-up linebackers I've ever seen in a draft. Hopefully he's going to be a monster for us here in his rookie season in year 3. Roughly about the midway point of year 3, 7-3 with old man Rodgers under center. That is very nice to be sitting at. We have $39 million of salary cap and probably more than $39 million of players that we want to keep. Michael Carter, depth at running back. You just don't need a lot of running back depth in a sim, so I really like the player. Big fan when he's coming to North Carolina, but replaceable. Laken Tomlinson, replaceable. Tyler Conklin, replaceable. I think really DJ Reed and the big ticket are the 2 players you want. Let's see if we can get Mekhi Becton on this fair deal, which we do. 3 years. Still have $24 million. A little bit of wiggle room for DJ Reed. He wants decent money. We'll start 4 years, $52 million. He wants more. All right, what we had to do for DJ Reed, we went back to the table, offered him $700,000 on either side. That was enough to get him to sign the dotted line. I just feel like the connection between him and Sauce Gardner in this secondary is something I really want to keep together for this rebuild, even if it limits how much we could spend this offseason. Now, I guess if Aaron Rodgers does retire, that's going to give us a massive surplus of cash to try to improve this roster around Zach Wilson. But honestly, I'd love to just see Aaron Rodgers go the full 5 years at this point. Year 3 for the Jets ends with the AFC East title. Very competitive AFC East. Bills, Patriots, even the Dolphins were solid above 500. And we get to, right away, no bye. We get to find out who the best team is in the East, playing on the Buffalo Bills in the opening round, which has kind of been a theme in this rebuild. We've been playing a lot of divisional rivals early in the playoffs. That's fine. Aaron Rodgers, ridiculous. Old man Rodgers, 4,700 yards, which is, average. 46 touchdowns. He might be MVP. Where do you get 40? I mean, Brandon Ayuk, sure. 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. Brees Hall. Look at these receiving numbers. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Ayuk. 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Wilson. Carmichael in the slot. Under 1,000, but 13 touchdowns. Conklin with a nice year as well. Defensively, Sean Dunbar, 123 tackles. Betts with 114. Dunbar, top 5 in true talent. Don't show me. That's a fucking starter. Come on, man. Throw it all. I mean, still a hell of a player. Great value pick, but you would have loved to see something better than a start at. Quinton Williams, 11.5 sacks, 8.5 John Franklin Myers, 6 for Johnson, 6 for Huff. And interceptions are kind of low, but Sauce and DJ Reed tied for the lead on the team with 2 picks. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Lamar Jackson, who's on the Jags. And Aaron Rodgers with 46 touchdowns is 5th. Very disrespectful. I don't think there's any... He's not even like... What? Huh? He's not even on the short list? What in the fuck? Pardon my French. Unbelievable. Honestly. Why are we just not ever winning any fucking... Quarterback. Let me get it for quarterback. Unless he... Okay, he's second in quarterbacks, I guess. The utter disrespect. We are just not getting any help with dev trade. That's probably why our team's just nothing but fucking star devs for the most part. We have not got, even when we should rightfully have an award winner, we're just not getting it. Opening round of the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills, and what do? We absolutely kick the shit out of them. Aaron Rodgers does his thing. Defense comes in, and we don't give up a single touchdown. We give up 2 picks to Josh Allen. Good game from Aaron Rodgers. Who got the pick? Sauce. I'd love to see Sauce. Maybe DJ Reed got a new contract. Him balling out would be cool. Bryce Hall and the middle linebacker Dunbar get their picks. It would have been dope for Dunbar to get Defensive Rookie of the Year, to get off that start at. But no, we couldn't even get that. So I guess all we got to do now is go and take on Lamar Jackson, who's MVP, and shock the world. And again, at this point, it could be Aaron Rodgers' last game. And that's exactly we handle business. 34-10. With Aaron Rodgers going, I mean, it wasn't a clean game, but we shut the shit down on Lamar Jackson. Another no touchdown, 2 picks against an S-tier type quarterback. Put some respect on my defense. What do we got here? We got 2 sacks, Jermaine Johnson, Betts, DJ Reed gets the interception, and we are back in the AFC Championship game as the 2 seed against Justin Herbert. I think they still have Herbert. They might not even have him. He's usually dipping to free agency now. Come on. Last hurrah for Aaron Rodgers. Get me into the Super Bowl. Yes! Yes! Very close. 30-27. Destiny. And we got the Giants on the other side. 30-27. 2 touchdowns. Clean game. Brad Young. I was going to say Bryce Young. But the known Brad Young out of Ohio absolutely goes. But 500 yards passing for Aaron Rodgers. $164 for Carmichael. $137 for Garrett Wilson, 89 yards, Brandon. Just an insane game. No defense whatsoever being played. And we have got our ticket to the Super Bowl. Better believe we're getting front row ticket. And we're actually, look at that, a game away from that being Packers-Jets in the Super Bowl. A 1-point victory for the Giants. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. We got to get this Super Bowl here. There's a scenario. If Aaron Rodgers retires, I'm probably going to end this video. If we win the Super Bowl and Aaron Rodgers retires, let's see if that, I mean, what a storybook fairy tale ending if we can put that all together here. And honestly, it needs to be said, if Aaron Rodgers, if this happened in real life, and he won, he would go down as the best quarterback in Jets history. You have Namath, but Namath, very dated, his game didn't really age particularly well. But we got the Battle of New York for the Super Bowl. Could be Aaron Rodgers' last game. We strike first. We're both trading field goals. Very much a defensive battle, but push comes to shove. I really do like our defense in this matchup here. We tied up at 10. We go into halftime, get this touchdown. Yes, we do. 17-10 into the second half. We're in the Reds. Let's come in. I'm going to give me a touchdown. So I have a feeling that this is how it's all going to play out. It is 2nd and 2. Hey, let's go Brees Hall. He's a superstar. He's an absolute stud. We're going to run right behind the big ticket 77, who's going to pave a lane. We're going to run away from Dex Lawrence if we can. We're going to try to bounce this outside. And it literally just couldn't be any easier. Throwing 5 different fucking pancakes. That's exactly what you want to see from Hall. And then offensive line. We get the stop. Now we're just burning clock at this point. We're flexing our muscles like, you're not getting the ball back. Oh, they get the instant touchdown. We get the instant touchdown. Anything you can do, we can do better. Going to Carmichael. Holy shit, this actually is going to work. 36-24. The Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Year 3 of the Aaron Rodgers era. Look at that. He can't believe it. Let's go. Awesome. Fucking awesome. That's what I wanted to see. Now, I don't know. If he doesn't retire, I suppose we could run it back, but I almost hope he does, because that's just the perfect ending for this rebuild. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, follows Hackett, mentors Zach Wilson, but we don't need to see that, because obviously it's probably going to be a massive drop-off between Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers, but let's celebrate this moment here. A little bit of an impromptu video. I just, you see the rumors right now swirling all over social media that Aaron Rodgers could end up in New York. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see how that might play out. And if it plays out like this, you tell me how old is he? 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers pulls a little bit of a Tom Brady, goes to another team, wins the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty freaking awesome. And not only in that Super Bowl, 399 yards and 3 touchdowns. Amazing. And he rides off into the sunset after 20 years going out a Super Bowl champion, Aaron Rodgers. And that is already one of my, probably one of my favorite rebuilds we've done this year. Maybe it's recency bias, but like it's very few and far between that like you come up with a premise for a rebuild and like it goes this well, goes this smoothly. But you had Hall, Garrett Wilson just dominating, bringing over Brandon Ayuk, Aaron Rodgers. You still got, and you could go with Zach Wilson. It worked out that way too. He actually didn't lose his dev trade at any point sitting on the bench, which is pretty awesome. Defensively, really the only disappointment I would say is Sauce just not going up dev trade. We just couldn't get the interception numbers to kind of raise that up. We actually lost superstar dev on Jeremy Chin. But all in all, an awesome rebuild. The Jets are Super Bowl champions. And I kind of hope that happens, man. I'd like, Jets are a team, don't really have, I don't like them, I don't hate them. They're just kind of a nothing neutral team to me. It'd be cool to see them be good. How they've drafted with Joe Douglas there, if you throw Aaron Rodgers in the mix with those weapons they have, they'd be a fun team. And the more boring teams that become fun teams from a neutral standpoint, the better, in my opinion, in the NFL. And that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers could do and elevate this Jets team too. So that will do it for you today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. We'll put in content coming to the channel on this weekend. Very important weekend, very big day on Sunday as my Eagles take on the 49ers. So that'll be a pretty good reaction over on the second channel. Don't miss that one out. And I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Till next time, C4, say peace out. Love you. Have a good one.